Hi, I'm Peter J. Shield. Welcome back to Vegas Mysteries. My special guest today is Dixie Dooley, one of Vegas's best known and in fact internationally acclaimed magicians, and we're talking about spirit communications. We've been talking about Houdini and the incredible things Houdini was able to do. More importantly, the work that he did in exposing fraudulent psychics. And I thought it might be fun, Dixie, if we take a look at some of the effects that these so-called psychics were able to perform to convince us that we were actually seeing some form of spirit communication. What have you in mind for us?
That sounds good, Peter. Here I have a giant deck of playing cards. Now, This is the kind of cards they use in the really big casinos, you know that, right? Now, as you can see, each and every card is different. No two cards are alike. This is a demonstration of how items would appear. All I want you to do is touch the back of any one of these cards you want. It doesn't matter, anyone.
Okay, anyone. Let's go for this one.
Okay, take that card, look at it, show it to the camera, but don't let me see it. Okay, that's very important. I won't look at the camera.
Okay.
Or at the monitor. Okay, and place it back on the deck there if you would.
Okay.
Now I have some ashes
on top of the deck?
That's fine. Okay. Right there. Some ashes from the dead.
Oh.
From the dead, right here.
All right.
And a ordinary piece of paper.
Okay.
Now what we do is we take some of the ashes and we sprinkle them on the paper. Like so.
Is this anybody I knew?
It is, they're gone.
Okay.
Okay. All right, what we do is we rub the ashes like so.
Right. Oh my God.
And an image starts to materialize. Now, fraudulent spirit mediums would actually use this very effect to cause names of departed relatives to appear that they would acquire. They would use it almost like a cold reading sometimes.
Gotcha.
And if you shake the ashes off,
there's
a 7 of clubs. Wouldn't it be amazing? What was the card?
My God, look at that. Absolutely remarkable.
All right. Now, another effect that Houdini used to demonstrate how fraudulent mediums would actually use slates, like children's slates.
Yeah, slates were very popular in
the schoolrooms
and all. In the 20s.
A piece of chalk, and what they would do, as you can see, they're blank on both sides. What they would do is they'd actually put the slates together, and they would have them hold them and concentrate on the person's name of the dear departed or whatever. And as they would do this, put the chalk here. As they would do this, I think we're communicating with the spirits here. It opened them up, and a message would appear.
My goodness.
Houdini says,
unbelievable.
The dead
do not return. That's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
So those are 2 spirit tricks. I'm going to show you another one, and I think you have something to show us too, in the way of some spirit tricks that Houdini used around the turn of the century to expose fraudulent spirit mediums. They would actually use these tricks in the darkness of the seance room.
Right. And of course that was the problem, that most of the circumstances that people found them in when they were so-called or attempting to contact their so-called dearly departed was that all of the circumstances were directly in control of the medium. In other words, the room was set up in advance. There was very little opportunity for anybody to go in and say, okay, well, are there hidden microphones?
And when Houdini would go into these rooms, these seance rooms, he recognized the tricks that they were using immediately as being conjurers' tricks.
Right, illusions as we performed here today.
And he thought it was a terrible thing that they were using these tricks to make believers and make money off of people who had lost loved ones in the war or had lost a loved one perhaps in an accident, and they were flourishing tremendously in his day and making lots of money. In fact, he tried to get a law passed to make it illegal to conduct these type of seances.
Well, I know that this still exists today. I'm not saying that those many of you out there may very well have experienced phenomena which is totally inexplicable. Messages that you receive. And who's to know their source? Who's to know where they come from? The only thing I can tell you, after, I guess, nearly 25 years of guess not quite as aggressive as Houdini, but similar investigative work into the whole field of psychic phenomena, is that to this point in time, no one, absolutely no one, has proved scientifically that spirit communication is indeed possible. Many have tried. There are many awards out there by various societies for people that can demonstrate true psychic phenomena. Many of us were familiar with the name Uri Geller, who for many years convinced us of the human ability to mentally bend metal and to cause things to move and strange things to go bump in the night. But again, scientifically, despite claims you may have heard, no one has to date been able to prove that spirit communication does in fact exist in a form where it's either repeatable or tangibly proven.
And I think that's what Houdini was in search of. He was in search of a true psychic or a true spiritualist, to a medium that could communicate and actually bridge the gap from the hereafter to this world. And he never found it in his lifetime.
Right. I don't think he actually was out to just disprove the thing. He actually was anxiously looking himself to try to find an answer, a means of communicating both with his mother and then subsequently for Bess to communicate with him. And I guess if anybody could have come back from the dead, Houdini would have. We'll be back very shortly with some other special effects, which we hope you'll enjoy.